And we are live. And today we have hot topic bonus number 3 and the last one before the retreat. So make sure you sign up to the retreat at connectedforreal.com/retreat. And I put it down for you so you can find it very easily. And I'm going to talk to you more about the retreat and what we're going to do at the end, but these hot topic bonuses are really there for you to get the most out of this experience. And we're also really talking about the things that are on everybody's mind. And today's hot topic is about priorities. And we got a question from one of the women in the group who asked about how do you know what to prioritize and when, because there's a lot of times where there's so many things up in the air and you know your marriage is important to you, but your business is on fire and you need to do something, and so you sort of leave that aside, or you have different priorities and they just sort of fall between the cracks. And I love that question because I actually prepared a whole class a couple of weeks ago. I wonder when this is. 1 second, I'll tell you exactly. It's on January 13th. On January 13th, I woke up in the middle of the night, which is how I prepare all of my awesome topics. I get these like downloads. I wake up in the middle of the night around 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. I just can't go back to sleep and I'm having these crazy ideas. So I go out of my room and sit down and just write, get it all out, and then I can go back to sleep. And this was one of them. It was a great topic that just came to me, and I sat down and wrote a bunch of notes, and I just forgot about it. It's in my journal. I have a journal that I am up to book number 3, and it's almost finished. So I think by next week, I'm going to be in book number 4, which is very exciting. So I wrote a whole bunch of pages about priorities and why it's so important to have the clear priorities in our life and in our marriage and in our business, because that is those are the pretty much the pillars of everything that I do and everything that I speak about. Is you are here for a purpose. God put you in this world, and you have your marriage, which is really important to you, and you have your business, which is really important to you. And really, ideally, they should all align to all work together and fuel each other. But in reality, it feels like everything is pulling you in different directions. So you want to serve God, and you want to be invest in your marriage, and you want to be in your business and really push, because we're just those types of women. But you feel like you're being pulled, and it doesn't have to be that way. It can all just sort of like align and work together. And that is what I do. That's why I'm a God-centered marriage coach. So, number 1 is, why do we need to know what's top priority and what is the hierarchy of what? Because when we have clear hierarchy, hello, Miriam. Yay, she's listening. At least I know someone's listening. Well, if you're listening, write down something in the chat, say hi, or I'm here, because I love when I'm not talking to myself. Why it's so important to have hierarchy is because it makes it really, really clear. And when you're in the moment, when you need to make a decision, when you need to do something, you don't have to start recalculating and rethinking and reevaluating. You just know what the answer is. So it's called decision fatigue, when you have to make decisions over and over again. And throughout the whole day, you're just constantly making decisions like, what should I eat? I don't know. What should I eat? So people who are into meal planning are going to tell you, if you plan your meals, you're not going to have to make those decisions on a regular basis. You're just going to be looking at the fridge or at the list and just fall into step. It will free your mind from having to make the decision. Another thing is, you wake up and your kid is sick, and now who's going to take off? Well, I am, only getting paid by the hour and you're getting paid from this and that. So you should take off, but no, but it's not fair anymore because you took off last time. These discussions and these complications and all of this like decision making is so exhausting for your brain and for you, obviously, when you are not prepared and thought ahead. So imagine if you had sat down one time and said, okay, listen, because you make this amount of money or you are more available to stay with the kid, it makes sense that anytime a kid wakes up and it has a fever, you're in charge of them for the first 3 days. And then we switch and I will take over and you could go back and do your thing. But that just makes sense for us. And that's what we're going to do. And of course, you discuss it and you look into it, whatever. But like you make a decision once and you just flow with it. You go with what is happening. That is the way to free your mind from decision fatigue. And in our case, when you know what's more important than what, then you can have a really easy way of prioritizing quickly and making decisions on the spot. So priority number 1, the top of your hierarchy is God. He put you in this world. All he wants is to give you and to love you and to provide for you. And in return, he wants a relationship. He wants to connect with you. He wants you to turn to him. He wants you to have communication, to connect, to really have that, loving relationship. And we'll make that quiet so it doesn't go ding again. Sorry. So God put you in this world. He loves you. He wants the best for you, and you are here to serve him. So everything that you do pretty much always goes back to God. Why am I here? What am I here for? What is his will? How do I align myself to him? When that's really clear, then it's really important for you to just sort of flow through it because you don't have to rethink all the time. Wait, what am I here for? Don't, it's so clear, just get on with it. And of course we have to keep reminding ourselves because we're human, but the main idea is if it's really clear for you and you just one time sit down and put these things in priority, then you will know you are here for God's, to light up the world with God's light, to reflect to everyone how much, God's brilliance and genius and amazingness. And so if you're here for a specific purpose, then you will align to that and constantly realign because we're human and we're all the time having to flow through different situations and different things that are coming up. And so you're going to know that is your anchor. And that is the thing that you're always magnetizing to. So no matter where the winds are going, no matter where the waves are going, you are very, very straight with God. Number 2 is you. I know, I just put you on the top of the list. It is so painful for us to even think about the fact that we are above everyone else because we naturally want to nurture and put everyone before ourselves. But as you know, it's not serving anyone if you are exhausted and completely erased or rang out from all of your energies. It does not serve anybody else that is in your life. It doesn't serve God. It doesn't serve anybody. So you have to put yourself first. You have to make yourself a priority and you have to take care of yourself. And it has to be top priority because if you don't take care of yourself, you will not be able to do the other stuff well and you're going to fall apart and everyone else is going to lose. Because it's a lose-lose situation. It's not like what we believe is, oh, don't worry, I'll just take care of myself later. I'll just eat later. Let me give everybody else to eat. I'll just sleep later. Let me just make sure everybody's okay. I'll just, fall apart slowly and nobody will know. No, they're all losing out. Everybody is losing out when you're not taking care of yourself. So you are top priority. Number 3, your marriage, your husband. He is top priority. So, for example, if you have, of course, family, above other things, but if you have husband versus children, you choose husband because he is top priority over children. And this is very difficult for us because, as we said, we naturally want to take care of the kids and we naturally want to give to them. We naturally want to just cancel ourselves out. But guess what? If you don't invest in your marriage, your life will look that way. The reason why I chose to be a marriage coach and not just any other type of coach is because I realized really early on that if the marriage is working, everything else is working. And if the marriage is out of alignment and there's something wonky about it, everything else is stuck. So it feels like your whole life is stuck. The money is stuck, and the career is stuck, and the in-laws are stuck, and all the relationships at work are stuck, and everything is just like falling apart, and the kids and the parenting and the then you know there's something wrong with the marriage. There's something that you have to stop and really investigate. Am I investing enough time, enough energy, enough of my resources in the most important core thing that is holding my entire life in that, perfect alignment? And it's a really good wake-up call when you feel stuck everywhere. Instead of feeling like, oh my gosh, overwhelmed, I don't even know where to start. Your first go-to is, okay, I know where to start, my marriage. Because and I'm telling you, I see this all the time because I only focus on the marriage. And when we fix the marriage, suddenly everything else falls into place very quickly. And it's like, hey, what just happened? How did everything just sort of align itself and flow so well? And it's because it is exactly that. The marriage is the core of everything else that's going on. And by the way, in the Jewish world, in the Jewish Jewish, whatever, we have the marriage as the core and the most holy thing. And then around is all of Jewish life. Okay. So you can see that we actually have that mirrored in all of our culture. And it is like that in all human nature, that when you are taking care of yourself, and secondary, when you are taking care of that most important relationship, you will see that it affects everybody else. So we took care of you, we took care of your husband, and then we took care of your kids, which is part of that unit. Now comes the other stuff. So for women in business, because those are my people, you are really, really high priority your work, your purpose, your business, your success, because it's not just about the money. It's not just about going out to work and just like clicking in and ticking, whatever, like punching the card. It's about your purpose in this world. It's about you lighting up the world. It's about having a message and finding your voice and really leaning into that. And you know that because you're here for that. And that's one of the things that I love so much about women in business and why I love working with them, because it's something that is really, really like an inner calling. And women in business, they work together in networks and they lift each other up. And there's something so beautiful about being in the presence of women who are all really empowered and, sort of rising together. And it's because they're not doing it for the results. They're not doing it for the money. They're not doing it for the fame. They're not doing it for whatever like external thing. It comes from within. It's because they feel a calling. They know what their, purpose is, what they're here for. And so it aligns with God's purpose. It aligns with their relationship with God. And so it becomes really high priority above all other things that, for if you're not a woman in business and you have other things that are really important to you, you will feel that and you will know. And it will just all sort of like, figure itself out. Now, by the way, within your business, you start having the same cycle of hierarchy. So within your business, God is number one. I am in this business because I am here to light up the world and for God's purpose, right? So then suddenly you bring God into it and he is a partner. And so you are a lot more successful and a lot more in flow and things are just easier and everything just poof, mind blown. Okay. So you want to know the easiest way to succeed is bring God into the picture. Because if he put you here to do that and you're actually leaning into what he wants, then he's going to help you and he's going to make it work out and he's going to make sure that he shows you the next breadcrumb and the next breadcrumb, and you're just going to sort of follow it without having to feel overwhelmed and alone and just feeling like you're doing it all yourself, because you're not, because you have a really good partner there. So God is number one within your business also. And then you are number one in your business. So again, just like we said in your life, you are number one. You have to take care of yourself. In your business, you're number one and you're the most important asset for your business. So you're going to keep learning, you're going to keep developing, you're going to get coaching, you're going to get support, you're going to get whatever it takes to make sure that you are at your best, because when you're at your best, everybody else wins and you win. And that's exactly how it is with you in regular life and in this world. And it is mirrored within that sort of like mini cosmos of your business. And then the next level is your family, your team members, your staff. So the people who are working for you, you invest in them and you make sure that they have the training and that they have the feeling of belonging and that they feel like they are part of the mission, and you really make them a top priority. Then it will trickle down. And so we sort of have a mirror, right? Because we were talking about general priorities. I'm going to drink something so that I don't keep coughing. Apologies to those who are listening in like ×2. I'm talking really fast. I'm just kidding. There is no way to make me talk faster on live. You are, what were we saying? Is this resonating? Tell me in the comments what you're thinking so far and how you like it. Let me just tell you if I missed something in the notes. Yeah. It's so cute. It's so great that I sat there like writing all this. It's so funny. It is so funny. Anyway, yes, my throat is dry and it's because I've been talking all day. But I love it. And so, yes, so let's put it all together for you. You are going to constantly have to realign these things. You're going to constantly have to make decisions throughout your day. And in reality, you can't always be, oh, first of all, no, I have priorities and I can't do this because that. Like, no, you're going to have things pulling you, and that's just part of life. But you're going to be intentional about how you schedule your life and how you create your calendar to reflect your values and those priorities. So you're going to make sure that you have a relationship with God every single day. I really like you just say, see more light. You're really amazing. Thank you. Yeah. I love getting compliments. By the way, my love language is words. So anytime you want to throw nice words at me, I love it. So you're going to have to make sure that you are picking something that you can stick to that is a consistent relationship with God. So if it's prayer, if it's meditation, if it's journaling, if it's taking a walk in nature, if it's, I don't know, anything, really, it could be anything, because you can connect to God through anything. And it's because God is everywhere and you could just tap into that, which is just unbelievable. But you have to choose it. It won't just come to you. It won't just happen one day like poof. Oh, it finally came. I finally realized how to be consistent about this one thing that's important to me. You're going to have to choose to want it, and then you're going to choose to get it. And when you want something really badly, you will figure it out. Then you're going to make sure that there's self-care all over your calendar. Every single week, at least once, you are going to do something nice for yourself. You're going to take care of that person who is in charge of your life. And if she's exhausted, you're not functional. And that's really sad. Really sad. It took me, by the way, I'm saying this like as if it's like the easiest thing to do, but it took me a long time to learn how to take care of myself. And because I'm just that type of person, I love everyone and I want to just give. But you have to be able to give from a place of overflow and not from a place of empty, because then the giving isn't as strong, then the giving isn't as powerful. And if you're really a giver, then you get in touch with that and you make sure that you overflow and you make sure that you're not running low, and you make sure that your, like somebody said, your cell phone, when it says 1%, you run and you like charge it, and then you're like, oh, we should never get to 1%. I should have always a charger with me and blah, blah, blah. And with yourself, you're like waiting till you die, and then you like replug it in, like, okay, fine. Now I'm back to normal. Shouldn't be that way. We should take care of ourselves at least as well as we take care of our cars with fuel and our cell phones with electricity. And it is not easy, and it takes baby steps, and it takes commitment, and it takes really, really wanting to align to your priorities. Now, by the way, the person who asked this said, sometimes something in the business will come up, and then it will be more urgent, and I will lose, spending time with the family or going out with my husband or investing in the things that matter because the things are urgent. And so I just want to point you in the right direction. I'm not going to go into it too much, but the seven habits of highly effective people, by Stephen Covey, is a great book. And by the way, I was, I wouldn't say a little lazy. I was just really fortunate to find the teenager version. So I ended up reading both eventually, but first I read the teenage version, which is much shorter and goes through it in a much more like cute and easy reading way. And so just as FYI, his son wrote the teenage version. So if you're not into reading and that book feels too big for you, don't worry about it. Just go and get the small version. Anyway, so in his thing, he has 4 quadrants. And so it's urgent and not urgent, important and not important. And so a lot of times we are in the urgent and important because that is where all the fires are, and you become a firefighter, and you're just going from urgent to important to, they're all urgent and important. The kids have a thing and it's due tomorrow, and the this thing at work and whatever, it's all urgent. There is the not important, not urgent, which is scrolling Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, which I'm very good at, by the way. That's why I'm giving you my examples, but it could be YouTube and watching and just Netflix or whatever. It could be all these different things that really feel like you're not doing anything. It's not important. It's not urgent, but it's veggie and it feels good. And why do we go there? Because the urgent, and important are so on fire, and we feel like we wasted so much energy there. We deserve to have this like blah time and dead time. So we keep bouncing from urgent to nothing. And so we're wasting a lot of time, but we're also doing a lot of things, and we feel like it balances out. And the way that he, by the way, there's like the urgent but not important, which is everything that's important to someone else but not you. So it could be, other people's to-do lists that they somehow throw on you, or it could be, hey, can you do this favor for the community? And you're like not sure how to say no, so you say yes to everyone. And so you become one of those like yes men, like yes, and you do everything for everyone else and you forget about yourself. And that's how urgent and not important comes to be. And people who are yes, they don't make time for their yes. So sometimes people like that have to learn that every no has a yes. They're the same coin, 2 sides of the same coin. When I say no to making a meal for the friend who had a baby, I'm not saying it because I don't want to help her. I'm saying it because if I make a meal for her, I won't make a meal for me, for my kids. And so I'm saying yes to my family when I say no to her. I'm saying yes to, going out with my husband when I say no to going to this, I don't know what, parent-teacher meeting, whatever it is. So you have to just notice and be aware where you're spending most of your time. And the last quadrant, which is where we want to be most of the time, is the important, not urgent, because it's important to you and it aligns with your values and with your priorities but it's not urgent. So nobody is running after you to make sure you do it. Nobody is, and let me tell you, nobody's running after you to make sure you pray or you connect to God. Nobody is going to sit around and like bang you over the head and say, this is urgent, this is important, you cannot continue your day without this. Nobody is, because it has to come from within. And that's where the work is. That's where we have to get out of our own like laziness and hard shell and be like, okay, I want to do this and I will figure out what works for me. And by the way, if you want, my first ever YouTube video on my channel is all about how I was able to do that. But it really took me a long time to figure out what works. And I tried many, many things until I found one. I highly recommend going to see that one because it's cute. It's my first one. So it's cute. It's funny. And nobody's going to sit around and say, you have to sit down with your husband. You have to go for a walk. You have to have a conversation. You have to, I don't know what, just like go out on a date if those still exist. Yeah, pandemic life. I know one day people are going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, that's what the pandemic was all about. Yes, we didn't have dates. And you sort of create like fake dates, you know, going to the garbage and stuff. Nobody's going to sit around and tell you this is important until it's on fire. And then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, now it's important. So when you're really used to being in that firefighter mode, you're going to wait for things to make themselves so escalated that things will be on fire. And then you're going to take care of them. So just be really conscious and aware of it and make sure that you create systems in your day and systems in your life that will support your priorities. Okay. I think that touched all of the quadrants. And I also told you about my video, which is really great. It's cute. I didn't think to tell you about it, but for some reason I feel like telling you, so I did. What else about the retreat? If you haven't signed up yet, you better sign up. I'm not making you. It's totally fine if you don't want to. But first of all, I'll just say it straight out because I always forget to say this. It is free, completely free. I'm doing it because I love you. I'm doing it because I feel really, really pulled and called to do this. And that's one of the funny things about what is like how my life runs is pretty much like, oh God, you know, what should I do now with this thing? And he's like, yep, this is what you should do. And he puts these like little crumbs and I follow them. And then suddenly I have a whole retreat happening on Monday. And it's exciting and I'm ready. And I'm like so pumped. I'm almost finished with the workbook. So you're going to get that soon in your email and also in the Facebook group. And those of you who are not in Facebook, in the WhatsApp group. Yes. So you have 1 hour a day with me for 7 days. So that's Monday, February 15th, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We take off Friday, Saturday so that you can implement and let it all settle. And then we go back Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So I made sure Sunday was really enticing so that you make sure to come back. Sunday is all about intimacy. And I know you're going to want to be there and not miss it. And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday, it's all done and we say goodbye and we hug and kiss and whatever. Yeah, except it's all virtual because who gets together these days? So it's 1 hour on Zoom every single day, always at the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Israel and 10 a.m. Pacific. And if you're in the UK, it's 6 p.m. Okay. So we talked about the timing and the dates. You have to know that this is very amazing. There's going to be the 1 hour where I'm going to teach. There's going to be implementation calls where you can actually talk to me and tell me what's going on with your life and how what we're learning is, you know, sort of implementing into your life. And we're going to make sure that it goes deep down into it. Because if you're just sitting up here, it's not going to help you. We want to really get it in there. That, and then there's the workbook, which is going to be super valuable for you. You're going to be able to always go back to it and it will change your life. And there's a Facebook group and a WhatsApp group for those of you who are serious about doing the homework, because there is going to be homework. It's going to be mostly accountability, like, yes, I did it, um, and things like that. It's going to be fun, and that's also where I make all the announcements. So it's good for you to be there. What else? That's it. I think it's just going to be awesome, and it's really geared for women in business who are married and want to align their marriage and their purpose and their success and their, and all of that good stuff, and just sort of make it all fuel together and propel forward and not pull them apart and sort of just like be an inner conflict, yucky thing that we tend to have as women in business. Because I'm one of them, so I know. If you have any questions, feel free to type them up, and that's it. I love you very much. I can't wait to start on Monday, the first day of the Marriage Breakthrough Retreat. It's going to be so awesome.